Hey, Light Happy Lifers, it's Anne-Marie here again. I am very excited to be here today with Megan McAvoy. So Megan is a business and financial coach, and Megan and I have so many commonalities. So firstly, we both originated or came out of Boston. She's now in the Boulder area. Hey, Megan, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Anne-Marie?
I'm good. And so for us, as we started to connect not only about Boston and life and being part business minded and also part yoga instructor, because Megan and I also have common yoga training in common, is that she has a firm belief about women and their approach to money. And I think this is
Mhm.
something where we often don't discuss, or we discuss and we think, only like a Susie Orman type. We need to really deal with our money issues and figure out what do we want to do to take our life to the next level. So
Mhm.
with that, Megan, I'll turn it over to you. And so you can start to relate your money story to the women at Light Happy Life. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I appreciate that. So for me, I started my first business when I was 25 years old. I was in a position where I had just taken my life savings and put it into a down payment on a condo. And then 3 weeks later, Fidelity Investments, my really stable job, laid me off in the economic correction of 2008. So all of a sudden, here I was, young woman, super proud of myself, did great things. And then the next thing you know, I have a mortgage to pay and I don't have an income anymore. And I had a realization myself that day is, number one, I wasn't happy in that career. I kind of was climbing the corporate ladder, doing the 9 to 5 thing, thought that that was the safe and responsible route. But then when Fidelity laid me off, I said to myself, nobody's ever going to lay me off again. And I wanted to take complete control of my financial freedom and fulfillment. I knew at that time it was time for me to start building a business. And I was having anxiety attacks literally every day about paying my mortgage. Like, really, like I remember walking around my
Totally.
house and being like, I don't know. And in that time, a lot of people were foreclosing. So, I'm 25 with my first mortgage. I didn't know what I was really up to necessarily. And then I saw people that I really cared about go through financial traumas that were far more significant than mine. And that inspired me to become a financial advisor. And so I built that business. I was a financial advisor for about a decade. There's no women in that industry. So, it was really me and a bunch of guys. And so I made it my mission to empower women to be more financially secure so that they would never be in the situation that I was in. For instance, I did a lot of life insurance and disability insurance planning. And, I never wanted them to be in that situation where they were having anxiety about paying their bills like I was. And then they were also sick because if you're sick, the number one thing that you need to do is spend time with the people that you love, get better, focus on your well-being, not be worried about your money. And so that's why that was part of my mission, to make sure women were financially informed, educated, and secure. I was going to be the first woman in leadership. I had all the trappings of success. And I went through my yoga teacher training. And I just remember at one point somebody looked at me and they were like, how can you be a financial advisor and a yoga teacher? That doesn't really add up. Like, I couldn't be those two things.
Right.
And I realized the more that I started to do mindset work and really tune into who I was and what I was about, that I wasn't happy. Like if you were to actually look at somebody point blank and ask them that question, are you happy? Pretty much everybody's going to say yes, but how many of them are actually being completely honest?
Mm-hmm.
And if I was being completely honest with myself, the work that I was doing as a financial advisor, while I had a deep purpose for it, I never wanted to see my clients die. I never wanted to see my clients get sick, and so I was doing all of this work that I never wanted to see manifest in the world.
Right.
And that was a misalignment for me. That was something that just didn't line up and give me the complete happiness and fulfillment. You can make all the money in the world, but if you're not happy, it doesn't matter. The statistic is really 37% of the wealthiest Americans are less happy than the average American. And those are the people. I was working with super high net worth people. Money doesn't buy happiness. And so I decided I was going to make a change and, start my coaching business. And now I work with women around the world to have more personal well-being, to have more freedom in their business, which to me is finding that alignment, finding what really seriously lights you up so that when you go talk about it, attracting clients is easy because they know how much of a mission you have. And then the financial security, a lot of women struggle with money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was a point when I was afraid to share my story with potential clients because I felt like a failure, you know, like here I was, I made this huge financial decision. And then the next thing you know, I'm scared out of my mind, but hey, let me come manage your money.
Right.
Like I didn't feel great, but what I found was that when I actually stepped into the full authenticity and power of that story, legitimately, I doubled my income. The day after I like got that story down, I went out and attracted $20,000 in perfect, amazing new clients. And so if I had allowed my fears and limitations about money to like overrun my mindset and keep me stuck, I wouldn't be at the point that I'm at now, you know, living in the Rocky Mountains, having a dream house, having a dream business. I would have been stuck.
Right.
So,
and so often we as women wrap our fears into our money, right? We either don't want to talk about it, want to hide from it, even if you're successful, even if you're well-educated, right?
Yep.
And it's something where there's so much emotion tied with money, right?
Big time. I mean, one of the things that I coach really is emotional intelligence and being able to find that grounding so that under all circumstances, you can have conversations about money. You can stand up for yourself if you have to. You can trust that, you know, I know, for instance, you know, if you're in the corporate America world, most women don't negotiate for their salary. And so ask for more money. Like I actually show my entrepreneur clients, for instance, if your income target is X and you're making Y, which is less than that, well, let's calculate the differential over a period of years. When you realize, for instance, in a negotiation conversation, whether it's for salary or onboarding a new client, just how cumulative that reduction in income is each year. Because when you see it, you're like, well, I made 10 grand less this year than I did last year, or 10 grand less than I wanted to. Well, multiply that by 20 years in your working career. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, you know, we have to have an awareness around how our emotions are keeping us stuck and know that we deserve more.
And something that I know you work on quite deeply is finding your inner purpose, right? So mindfully finding your purpose, which then leads to better financial state, right? And it can still be in corporate. So I know you work with some really incredible, successful women in your business, but even still with them, it's refining their purpose. Do you want to tell us a little bit about mindfully defining your purpose?
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of times what happens is that, you know, clients know why they do, my clients know why they do the work they do, right? Or you know why you have the career that you have. And so you can define yourself within the box of your business.
Right.
But very few people take the time to really define the purpose of their life. And that is actually the philosophy of success. And this has been studied for years. And I mean, I work with high six-figure clients and they're amazing and doing awesome. And they've defined the philosophy of their business, but not necessarily the philosophy of their life. And the time-tested philosophy of success is to have a purpose. Now, by having a deeper purpose, like I've had the same purpose now for 6 years, and it's to be the greatest teacher, leader, mentor, and example that I can be. I do this by coaching my clients, volunteering my time, and living a healthy and balanced life so that I may enjoy a life of pride, integrity, prosperity, joy, health, love, and friendship. I mean, obviously I own that, right? I live.
Yes. And I love it because so one of the things that I'm totally jumping in. One of the things that I teach is defining your own mantra, right? And you and I know from the yoga world, not Sanskrit, right? Like that is your mantra. That is what you repeat daily because what you say you become. Right?
Exactly. Yes.
So sorry, I totally jumped in. This is whenever you're watching, this is how Megan and I conversations have gone.
That's fine. It's fun.
So what are the questions that you should ask yourself when you're defining your purpose?
Yeah. So what happens a lot of times, and Tony Robbins has this quote, success without fulfillment is the ultimate failure. And I believe that 100%. And so a lot of times what people do is they kind of, you know, they go after success. They go after this thing that they want, whether it's the job, the husband, the house, the baby, all these things. And then along the way to accomplishing that, they kind of become who they become.
Yeah.
what you need to do to define your purpose is start from the inside out. Take a different approach. And so what I have my clients do is look at first and foremost, before anything else, who do you want to be? Right? And so that goes back to, things like your core values, what lights you up in life, what do you love doing? Okay, then next, what do you have to do in order to be that person? For instance, one of the things for me that I say is volunteering my time is because ever since I was in high school, I've had to do volunteer work. It's a core value of me to either donate to charity or give back. And if I'm not in alignment with that, I'm going to feel it. I'm going to know deep down something's not right. And then lastly, look at what do you want to have as a result of it? So who do you want to be? What do you have to do to be that person? And then ultimately, what do you want to have as a result of that? And to me, it's like the light on the dashboard, right? If you're not acting in alignment with your purpose, you're going to feel it. You're going to know it. And the best part is that instead of just going through your life kind of feeling like you're this thing and then that thing and then that thing and trying to just keep up, it grounds you and it centers you. And if something's going wrong or you're not living up to your expectation or your standard for yourself, it's like the light on the dashboard. If your brakes aren't working, your windshield wiper lights aren't going to come on. Your car is going to say your brakes aren't working and you're going to go to the mechanic and say, fix my brakes. And it's the same thing when we have a purpose in our life. If we're not showing up in some area, it's going to be like, oh, okay, that's where I need to tune in. That's where I need to be more mindful. And that's where I need to deliver on the person that I want to be. And I think authenticity is what breeds success.
Yeah.
And it's been proven. Emotional intelligence, which is part of your purpose, is the number one driver of success. It's nothing else but what's in you.
Yeah, that's great. So that the be, do, have scenario, right? So often I find women, they're focused on the have, right? Yep. Have and do, right? I want to have this. I want to do this, right? Whether it even be something like become a yoga teacher, right? I'm going to do that, right?
Yep.
And then they're going to be. It's like, no, you need to flip it around, right?
100%.
Yeah. Cool. So that is so neat. And I love that it defines your purpose, which then defines your money, right? And you don't have to be an entrepreneur to follow these tips, to follow this idea. You don't have to, you can still be a successful woman in whatever you want to do and whatever career trajectory you want.
Absolutely.
So tell us, go ahead.
No, that's fine.
So tell us a little bit about what you have going on right now. Because I know you've got, so we're releasing this the second week of March, right? Yeah. And you're doing something special right now. So tell us what people are invited to join.
Yeah. So starting next week on the 6th, I have a 5-day Create Freedom and Riches Challenge. And so actually one of the first things that we're going to be talking about in the challenge, I'm doing it through a series of Facebook Live videos. So it's live coaching, which means that people can interact with me and ask questions. It's taking place in my group exclusively. My group is called Aspire to Retire Rich. So we're out on Facebook. We're going to go through defining your purpose, tuning into the power of your story. How can you tell your authentic story to be able to attract your best clients, but do so using tools in emotional intelligence that are proven 100% to work. So it's kind of like, I almost look at it as like beating the system. Like if you know how to tune into emotional intelligence and tell an awesome story, you're going to rock your business. And then the last day, I'm actually going to have everybody get visible, because I know a lot of the clients that I work with struggle with clarity and confidence around sharing their story and exactly who they work with. So I'm going to have all of the women, there's already over 100 women in the group, hop on video and, immediately put the tools that I'm teaching into action so that it's something that they can execute on and use consistently in their business for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and these are great. And these are tools that you can use if you're a nurse, if you're a 7-figure salesperson, right? Not that I'm not putting a nurse at the bottom for anybody, but you have a wide range of skills, of backgrounds, of anything. These are all incredible tools. And one of the things I really like is you in your group encourage women to find their voice.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm on a mission right now to change the world, which some people are going to think is like crazy and some people are going to be like, sweet. But when I saw the Dalai Lama talk about mindfulness, he was here in Boulder in June, and he said something that I put in my journal that's just stuck with me ever since. And he says, humanity starts with one person being more kind, more compassionate, and then it spreads. And so a part of my mission is to be that one, and, you know, bring together women. I think women right now, when it comes to money, which we were talking about a minute ago, we're in control of 57% of the wealth. By 2020, it's going to be 67% of the wealth. So we already control, right? We already control the wealth in the US. We graduate college with significantly more advanced degrees, both undergrad and grad. We start businesses at twice the rate of men. And it's so time for women to step into higher levels of leadership. I'm so tired of the expression own their worth, but like do it. Like realize you're valuable, realize that you deserve to be paid, and then get paid and know that that's fine. You know, like know that that is a great thing and can help you be a better person. And I'm on a mission to help more women do that.
You rock. So here's the end question to all of my incredible coaches that I've been interviewing this month. So what's your secret to a light, happy life?
So really, to me, it is practicing mindfulness, which is what we're talking about today. I know I had shared with you this at one point, Amory, but I hadn't shared it on this video yet. So my first week in college, September 11th, happened out my bedroom window. So I could see the Twin Towers literally on fire, and I had textbook post-traumatic stress disorder. Physical symptoms, mental, emotional. And the way that I healed myself, I don't judge anybody who takes medication. You know, they tried to put me on it. It didn't work for me. I knew I had to go deeper. The way I healed myself was actually through yoga. It was through going in and figuring out, you know, all the emotions and clearing that out and doing the mindset work. And so that's it. But I'll tell you, I still was one of those people who was carrying around anxiety. I always thought maybe I like kind of normal. I'll have this free floating anxiety. Like you were pretty scarred as a kid kind of thing. But I've started meditating, and I have a process that I use right now every morning where I wake up first thing in the morning, I work out, and then I meditate. And I like there to be proof to this mindfulness stuff. I like the science, financial advisor, give me the logic, not just the woo-hoo. And so the science has actually proven that when you work out, you create more clarity in your brain. So I work out first, and then I sit down to meditate, and it's completely changed my life. Like it's helped me to really reduce that worry, that anxiety, that even though I had done a great job of managing it, I had still been, I think, carrying. And, you know, I do a ton of mindset work, but none of us is ever perfect. I don't think any of us will ever be perfect. And for me, meditation is it's become an amazing space to sort that out.
It is, and it's work. You know, the analogy to exercise is there. It's like the first time you do a couple squats, right? Like you're like, oh my God, do I have to keep doing this, right? Like how is this working? And then it takes a while until you can start to see it. And you don't need to do, you know, an hour a day to start. Start with a minute. Like start. Yeah. Like you don't lift 100 pounds to start. Like you lift 5, right? Yeah.
Well, and for me, you know, like I have a group coaching program that's launching later this month. And for each of the modules for each week, I have included a recorded guided meditation.
Yeah.
Because for me, I love guided meditation to start thinking about the things that I want to change or improve in my life. And so exactly to your point, you know, start there if you're worried about sitting in the complete silence. And then you can evolve your meditation practice. Again, like it's not kind of like yoga. People who show up to like rush into a pose and what they look like, it's like, no. This is about the alignment. You know, you're not supposed to look like a Barbie doll. You're supposed to like have good form. It's the same thing with meditation. It's just a practice. Just show up, whatever comes up, you can work through, and then journal.
Love it. Love it. So Megan, I'm so excited. We're going to have you back because I want to have like tea and coffee with you and hang out. So we will definitely chat again. Thank you so much for being part of Mindful March. I really appreciate you joining in on this experience.
Thank you.